a father to the fatherless,
and a defender of widows.
Is God in His holy dwelling?
God sets the lonely in families.
He leads out the prisoners with singing.
So we landed in Kigoma, Tanzania, in the town center. We were immediately approached by a group of children who were begging. We had an opportunity to interact with some of these kids, and it became clear that these kids were really in a dire situation, especially this young girl. We found out that her name was Angel and that she's 12 years old. I have my own children. The youngest is 13 years old, just 1 year older than Angel. And I immediately began thinking about my own family and what it would be like if this were one of my children out there on the streets.
The reason she's on the street begging is because her mom is mentally unwell. She's unstable, and her mom will lock her out of the house at night. So her mother basically does not want her at home, and her father has passed away, so there's no adult that is really looking after her well-being. So she finds herself out on the street begging for food and actually sleeping in the train station on the ground at night, surrounded by a group of boys who say their job is to protect her.
They mentioned that they sleep in the train station. I think from our perspective, as foreigners, as Americans, we didn't immediately understand what that meant until we made our way to the train station and saw that the train station is completely open air. There are also a tremendous amount of people around. And these kids go to sleep at the train station every night because they feel that they can sort of blend in. But it became so clear, whether it's exposure to the elements or, again, the tremendous amount of other people who are there, these kids are extremely vulnerable. This is not a safe place for them to be, sleeping in the open in a train station every night. So Angel, being the lone girl in this group of kids, the boys are protecting her. This group of boys, even as young as they are, understand how vulnerable she is. And the fact that it's now their responsibility as children to try and have to protect her from adults who might exploit her. This is just a shocking reality, something that we in our own country can barely imagine.
In an environment where poverty is commonplace, survival, basic survival, is an immense challenge. And so when a parent passes away or a parent abandons their family, the children are left wondering where they're going to get their next meal to eat. Will they even be able to survive? And so this results in some children going out on the streets and spending their days begging.
When you see them in this kind of a situation, just one night, you never know what can happen. One night, you never know what can happen. The devil is there. She can be raped or killed, or even get a serious disease. So it is so urgent that we do what we can, as quick as we can, to assist her.
I really feel like there was a divine appointment when it came to Angel, that her begging location at the time we were there, that was an intersection that God orchestrated in order for us to respond in a compassionate way, to do something to try to make a difference for this young lady who is so vulnerable.
Child Impact International has the same feeling of supporting those vulnerable kids who are suffering. And that girl, to me, is one of them.
Here in Kigoma, Child Impact works with and supports the Twing Memorial Schools. And as we met this group of kids and specifically thought about Angel, we knew that we had to do something. And so the first question that we asked was, can we find a place for her at the school? She shouldn't be out here on the streets. And as I thought about my own family and about what it would mean to me to know that if I weren't there, that there would be someone else to care for my children, I knew that for me personally, simply asking our local partner, whether they could find her a place there wasn't enough, that I had to do something personally. And so at that moment, I agreed to sponsor Angel to get her to a safe place so that she's not out there on the streets, so that a group of children are not the ones that are having to protect her.
As I reflect on our projects globally, I believe that a 12-year-old girl is the most vulnerable of all children, and in fact, that is Angel's age. She is vulnerable to exploitation from older men, and for the moment, these young boys are saying that they're protecting her, but how long can they do that? And they're not with her all the time. And so she's at an age where she can really be hurt and maybe even lose her life. So she's at tremendous risk as a young lady. We identified a shop where the children could go shopping for clothes. And it was so interesting, especially to see Angel pulling out these beautiful dresses that probably she'd only dreamed about, being able to wear something like that. And she was able to pick one with the help of the matron that she put on right away, and she did not take that dress off. When she came to meet us the next day, she was wearing that dress. When she went to the school, she was wearing the same dress. So it's powerful to see it unfold and to be able to provide this little token of support for them as they began their journey and experience there at the Twing School.
Seeing Angel in a safe place was just, it has to be one of the most amazing experiences of my life. To think about the environment that she came from. She didn't know where her next meal was coming from. She was sleeping in a very unsafe place. She had a group of other children who were helping to protect her from adults who wanted to exploit her. So to see her in a safe place, it means the world to me. And I was so impressed, not only with the staff and the teachers at the Twing School, but also with the students. As you can imagine, it would be very easy for a group of kids who all know each other to make it difficult for another kid to come in and join the group. This was not the case when we got to the Twing School. These kids were introduced and they were immediately accepted and welcomed into the school. You know, over the course of meeting Angel, she had developed a bond with us. And when we initially got to the school, it was clear that she felt comfortable standing near us and staying near us. But it wasn't long before she was off and running with the matron, with the other girls. And then when we met back again together for a meal there at the school, we noticed Angel wearing a jacket. This was not a jacket that we had purchased for her when we were able to buy her clothes in the town. It was a jacket that one of the girls there at the school had given to her. Later on, she was wearing a wristwatch that one of the girls had let her have. She was playing a game of netball with the other kids. She was enjoying a hot meal. To see her, just the amount of food that she put on that plate. And we asked her, we said, "Angel, can you eat all of that?" And she immediately said, yes, yes. And she just grinned from ear to ear. It was also amazing to see that she inherently knew that this was a place that was going to be safe for her. This was a place where she didn't have to worry, that she didn't have to be scared. As I thought about taking Angel to the school, I had my own concerns and my own fears about whether she would be happy, about whether she would feel comfortable in a place like that. And my fears were immediately relieved. When she met the matron, and immediately she's holding the matron's hand and she wouldn't leave the matron's side. When she's out there with the girls playing netball, when we see her sitting now with her friend, her new friends, with their arms around her, with her arms around them, it was beyond amazing.
The Twing Memorial Secondary School is a boarding school where children can come and live. We have just accepted 33 vulnerable girls into the dormitory, and so when the need came up with Angel, The challenge was, where will we find space for her? They are going to be able to squeeze her into the dormitory, but the reality is there's a need to build a larger dormitory for these girls so that we can rescue more children who are vulnerable like Angel is. Our dream is that very soon we can begin construction on a new girls' dormitory that has more space, where we can rescue more girls that are in situations like Angel, where they become so vulnerable and need a safe place where they can flourish and pursue their dreams.
Being here and seeing the conditions on the ground firsthand, it's very clear that these kids and families are not going to be able to pay their school bills on their own. And that's why sponsorship is so important, not only for kids like Angel who are out on the street, but also for the other children that we have at the school. Kids who are coming from stable family home environments, but who have that extreme need for an education. We think of education as something that happens automatically. Every child goes to school. Every child has the right to an education. Here in this area, it's very much a privilege to be able to go to school, especially a school like Twing Memorial, where they have boarding facilities, where they have hot food program and things like that. And so it's of the utmost importance that we get these kids sponsorships in this area to provide them opportunities that many of us take for granted.
It is in my heart to see kids being educated. That is really my joy. If I see that they are getting education, I feel really happy. You know, when you get education, at least you can survive in any kind of environment. Now, when we assist these kids, imagine what they will become. One day someone, if Jesus delays to come, someone will stand and say, Child Impact helped me. Now I am a president of the country. Now I'm a minister, I'm a lawyer because of your help. I'm a medical doctor because of your education assistance. So what we are doing is a redeeming process.
It's amazing to think about the opportunities that she will have now, not only to grow as a person, but beyond that, the educational opportunities, the opportunities that she'll have to learn about Jesus and his love for her. I can't wait to see where she goes and the things that she does as a result of being in a safe place. Howdy friends, my name is Brian Ham. I'm the Director of Church Engagement for Child Impact and one of the newest members of the team. I recently chose to leave a successful career in oil and gas because as I learned about the work that Child Impact is doing around the world, it really struck a chord in my heart. One of the biggest needs that we have here in Tanzania is for child sponsorship. We have children right now who are waiting for sponsors, and after being here and seeing the need, it's my dream that every one of them are sponsored soon. You can help us do that. We can't do it alone. If you'll go to our website at childimpact.org, select sponsorship and then the country of Tanzania, or by calling our office at 423-910-0667. Help us bring hope to a child.